On this week's episode, the top movies of 2021, a review of Don't Look Up, and saying goodbye to a movie and television legend.
James!
I know. So,
it hurts, James. It hurts.
It hurts. I know. We this is something that, we kind of always expect, but also never expect. But the day has come. Betty White, the legendary movie and television star for the past 70 years. She passed away New Year's Eve at the age of 99 years old. So many mixed emotions. One, of course, it was very surprising when I saw the headlines going on social media about her passing, but there wasn't immediate sadness. There was like the shock that she passed away, just because there's so much recent talk about this 100-year birthday celebration that's coming out this month. But after the initial shock, there was a little bit of, happiness, because you can't say that Betty White did not live an amazing life and a life that touched so many people, that people dream of living half the life that Betty White did. So after the initial shock of the news of her passing, you have to just look back and just kind of be happy about the life she lived. She was very aware up until the very end, like sharp as a tack. She was still cracking jokes before the pandemic, going on all these different talk shows, and she never missed a beat. And so to have that presence of mind at this age still is a gift in and of itself. But to again, just being a big fan of hers, and who isn't a fan of Betty White? It is tough to say goodbye, but what amazing life to live.
Listen, living legend doesn't even begin to describe her. She's one of the funniest people on the entire planet. And we were all so blessed and to have her for as long as we did. And I think that's just why we don't want to let her go. We're over here keeping it golden, James.
Yeah,
we will always keep it golden for her. So, the Golden Girls are all now reunited there in heaven. And it's just, let me set the scene for how we found out here in our house. So my husband read it first, right? He read, and he was just losing his mind in the kitchen. He's like, no. I'm like, what is it? And I'm like, oh my God, is it something to do with the kids? He's like, no. I'm like, someone died. He's like, yes. I'm like, it better not be Harrison Ford. He's like, it's not.
Yeah.
And it was Betty. So I went through like all of the stages of grief within like 10 minutes. Just the shock, the sadness, the bargaining, the anger, all of it. But in the end, I think it's her last final joke. She's going to be fashionably late to her own party, to her 100th birthday party. She peaced out, just before 2022. I think she's unsubscribing. And that's fine. That's fine, Betty. You've lived a wonderful life. But what killed me, James, is that, like you were saying, all those headlines. There was a headline from just 3 days before where she's like, Betty White gives her secrets for a long life for at 100 years. She's like, I'm so lucky that I'm so healthy. And, so that we were all just like so ready to celebrate with her.
You expect her to reach 100, no problem.
Just 2 weeks. Come on, Betty, 2 weeks.
Come on, Betty, you couldn't have done better. I'm kidding. No. But again, an amazing life. She was she was going to be a part of this special on January 17th. Betty White, 100 years young, a birthday celebration. Like I said, it is continued to be. It is going to be released.
Yeah, they're still going to do it.
So 900 theaters, I actually didn't know it was going to be released in theaters. I think also maybe online, but it's hitting 900 theaters. Of course, Betty White, part of Mary Tyler Moore, Golden Girls. She won an Emmy for her guest appearance on SNL back in 2010. I love the movie that she's in with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock in The Proposal. and Ryan
Yes.
Reynolds, he actually he, like many other celebrities out there, have been tweeting and sending their condolences. But Ryan Reynolds, he co-starred with Betty White, and he said that that she was great at defying expectations, that her co-worker in Hot in Cleveland, co-star Valerie Bertinelli, she said, "Rest in peace, sweet Betty, how bright heaven must be right now." So a big,
They're having a blast with her on the other side.
Yeah,
and
she's making a lot of people laugh right now.
The back and forth between her and Ryan Reynolds. I don't know if you saw a few years back. It was like a decade ago when they were having a feud, and she was treating everyone else on set so lovingly, and whenever he would come around, she's like, "Where's my coffee?" and just cursing at him. And just her sauciness is what we all need. It is the sardonic that soothes our soul. And she's just always been, Betty was a Betty, okay? Just so cute, so beautiful, such a bright light. And now we get to enjoy her life. We get to relive everything and celebrate the incredible life that she had and the incredible humor, and try to incorporate that in our lives a little bit, James. It's what we need,
Now, one thing I will not miss is it's funny because over the past several years, whenever Betty White was trending on Twitter, everybody would have like a mini heart attack, like, "Oh no, is this the day?" And so everybody goes through like, "Well, why is Betty White trending?" Like, "Oh, she's trending because she's a nice person still." And so at the very least, just to end on a light note, at the very least, we won't have those moments of, "Why is Betty White trending? What happened?" It has happened, but again, what an amazing life and what an amazing impact she's left on many people.
They made fun of that on 30 Rock too, where some celebrity dies, and then Tracy Morgan calls Betty White to see if she's still alive, and like tries to scare her, and she's like, "Is this a rule of threes call?" She's like, "I'll be at your funeral." It's like, it was so great.
I forgot she was on 30 Rock, and they make that joke like clear itself. That's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah, again, it's
and
funny
on SNL, and
all of her appearances on whatever she's done, she leaves people smiling and happy and laughing. It's incredible. So Betty White, thank you so much for all your years of giving back to the world, not only to humans but also to animals, because as many know, she was famously a very strong advocate for animals. So Betty White, thank you so much.
Yes. James, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to, how celebrities die in threes, like we were just mentioning.
Yes.
Pouring one out for Betty, pouring one out also for my little goldfish that died last night.
Your own little golden girl.
My own little Goldie. So just pouring out one out for Goldie also. I hope you're chilling out with Betty White.
There you go. Well, speaking about chilling out, maybe these are some movies that you can chill out and watch, because we have our top 5 or our top movies of 2021, as well as some honorable mentions and some that were just disappointing, sad to say.
Yeah.
But I have my list in front of me. Jamie, how do you want to start out with this?
Okay. All right. Well, look. I'm very biased, James. I'm very biased.
We all are too, yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Man No Way Home. Far and away, I think the best movie of the year.
I think so.
Yes, absolutely. Tom Holland, Zendaya, everything that it brought to the MCU, the emotional beats that it hit, the bringing together of the multiverse, and every, spoiler alert, spoiler.
Right.
Bringing together all of the Spider-Men from all of the universes, just incredible, unmatched. What an accomplishment for the MCU. So that's my number one movie of 2021. What have you got? What have you got on your list?
So Spider-Man No Way Home is the number one on my list, because, like you said, easily the best movie of the year. The movie where I felt the most electrified getting back into the movie theater, because before this, I think the other previous movie that was so jam-packed or had a lot of people going was Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds. That's nothing. That was nothing compared to what we saw with the Spider-Man movie. So not only was the Spider-Man theater going experience amazing, But also,
yeah, the shouting, yeah.
the movie itself. If you would have asked people like 5-10 years ago, like, hey, do you know one day they're gonna have all these different Spider-Man from the Sam Raimi, from the Andrew Garfield universe merging with this new MCU Spider-Man, nobody would have believed it. People would have thought it would have been impossible, not only in a movie making standpoint, but on a contractual, movie studio standpoint.
Yeah.
And so that broke many barriers. So my number one is Spider-Man No Way Home. Also making my top 5 movies of 2021 is Come On, Come On, a much different paced movie starring Joaquin Phoenix and a rising, a very talented young actor who plays his nephew in that movie. We did review it on the Hub on Hollywood. Come On, Come On, heartwarming, touching, funny, dramatic, kind of movie that you just want to... It makes you appreciate your own family members a little bit more, I think, and definitely one of the best movies of the year. That's my number 2.
Awesome. My number 2 is Dune, James, with pretty much everything Zendaya's in is at the top of the list.
Yeah, she had a good year.
So, Dune with Timothée Chalamet. Yeah, she had a great year, starring Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Poe Dameron, because he's in every space movie. Oscar Isaac is. So Dune, with its sweeping visuals, it's an incredible adaptation. So hard to do, especially with the previous iterations of Dune. They just knocked it out of the park. The cinematography, the colors, the costumes, the acting, the pacing. The way that they put the story together was so much more coherent than even the book or any previous iteration. So very much looking forward to the future films because it's going to be a saga in and of itself. Very strong start. Very, very great experience watching it. So Dune is my number 2.
Well, I couldn't say it better myself. Dune, I agree. Dune made the bottom of the list, but not because it's my least favorite per se, but it did make the top 5. So Dune is in there. My fourth. Wait, how many movies do I have here? I have 5. Okay, so after Dune, the next movie that I really, really enjoyed and have watched multiple times this year is the new Suicide Squad. Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. It's a very enjoyable movie. And a much better version and much better use of the characters than the original Suicide Squad that we got a few years back. Also starring John Cena, which is getting his own spin-off on HBO Max with Peacemaker. But Suicide Squad, very enjoyable, very fun, and now I'm actually interested in seeing where these characters go. So that made my top 5.
Awesome. Okay, so Don't Look Up is next on my list, but we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So I'm not going to spoil anything right now. But Don't Look Up, starring Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, a whole bunch of other super famous people, Jonah Hill, etc., etc. Timothée Chalamet also.
Yeah. He is also having a good year.
I know. About a comet coming to Earth and all of the ridiculousness that ensues. Just incredible satire and commentary on the way that things are today. We're gonna have that review coming up in just a few minutes, so stick with us for that. But next on my list was also, you already mentioned it, Free Guy, which was filmed here in Boston. It was delayed more than a year in its release. I was actually pregnant. I did some background work on that movie. I didn't come out, unfortunately, but it was so fun. And because of all of these like studios merging and all of that, we've got some really great, when Free Guy has like the Captain America shield at the end, we had like a lot of cross promotion that like really felt fun and entertaining. And like I said, filmed right here in Boston, downtown Boston. So Free Guy, loved it. What's next on yours?
My final favorite movie, or top 5 of 2021, No Time to Die, which was prolonged for so long, delayed because of the pandemic. And so it came out this year, and it was not... it's hard to say that it was everything that I wanted in a James Bond movie, but it was everything that I didn't know what I wanted in a James Bond movie, if that makes sense. They hit a lot of the quote-unquote cliche Bond aspects, but they also switched up a lot of things, including the meaning behind what a 007 agent is, of how they left this James Bond's story at the end of the movie. Again, not to give any spoilers away, but No Time to Die was better than I expected, even though I was still looking forward to it. So No Time to Die rounds out my top 5. But I will say this, Free Guy and Don't Look Up did make my honorable mentions, and so I both enjoyed them both very much. Again, didn't make the top 5, but honorable mention isn't bad at all.
So rounding out my top list, I had to get a kids movie in there. Because I've been forced to watch many. It's okay. I love them. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
I just have too many kids. Was Vivo. So Vivo came out earlier this year. It was about a little kinkajou and a girl from Miami so the kinkajou's from Cuba, and his owner dies, and he didn't get to tell the woman that he loves her. So the little monkey has to go to Miami and deliver the letter, to express his love. And it was just, besides it being just a really great fun movie, it's representation. So there's never been a movie that I've seen, especially an animated Disney, or it's a Pixar, an animated Pixar movie that focuses on the Cuban community. So Mi Gente, it was a great film. My son loved it. We watched it for weeks on end ad nauseum. So that is rounding up my top movie list of the year is Vivo.
Have you seen Encanto?
I have not seen Encanto yet. I gotta do that. I gotta do
that. I've heard the same thing where other people have said that it's a really good movie. However, it's not getting the same buzz as other Pixar or other Disney movies, and that's because it's on streaming. And I think there's a little bit of truth to that. If there was more word of mouth or more advertising saying it's coming to theaters very soon, more people would have gone to see it in the theaters. Instead of having it already very accessible on Disney Plus. So I think that may have hurt some of its box office figures, but overall, I am hearing good things about that. But to round out my remaining honorable mentions, I really enjoyed House of Gucci. I know that had some people split on that, especially with one of the actors, and I'm blanking on his name. He played the brother. He's Morbius. What's that actor's name?
I don't know.
The weird
I'm sorry.
guy, yeah, the weird actor. I'm forgetting his name, but some people had problems with his portrayal of the character, which I can understand, but I thought it was still enjoyable. And Godzilla vs. Kong also made my honorable mention because that's a monster movie, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do: have you turn off your brain for a bit and watch these two giant monsters beat each other up. And I thought it was done in a very way. Definitely my favorite of this new Godzilla franchise movies that they've released so far. Now I'm going to ask you, what are some of your misses, your top misses of 2021 that didn't sit with you?
I don't think that for one of them, I know people are not going to agree with me on, or at least some people, a lot of people won't. Red Notice.
Red Notice.
With also with Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson and Gal Gadot. It did amazing at the box office. It did amazing on streaming, but it was so formulaic. It was like, okay, we have the perfect formula for how we're going to get people's money, and it worked. It was, I just thought it was lazy writing, kind of lazy acting, and it was too easy. You know what I mean? It didn't break any barriers. It wasn't crazy interesting or anything. It was just very formulaic by the book. This is how we're going to make a blockbuster, and the actors aren't even trying. They're just being themselves, and they've been this character dozens of times before. So it didn't do it for me, James. I know it did it for a lot of other people, and it's great seeing them all together. It's fantastic chemistry or whatever, but it was lazy. It was lazy, James.
This may be a hot take or a hot question, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I feel like I'm reaching the max the mass. What I'm trying to say is, are we getting too much Rock now? Are we getting too much Dwayne the Rock Johnson in movies now?
According to my high school teacher, Miss Diamond, you can never get too much of the Rock. She's been in love with him her whole life. So, hi, Miss Diamond.
I'm not sure if I'm close to hitting that, because he does make some really good action films. The Rock is not the greatest quote unquote actor when it comes to compared to other actors, of course, but he sells these action, high adventure, high adrenaline movies, and he does sell that. At the same time, though, there are so many characters or different versions of The Rock that, different characters he plays, where they seem very similar. There's not much range. And so I'm not sure if I'm getting to
That's
that
what
point.
I'm saying, yeah.
where I'm hitting a wall, but hitting that rocky wall. But one of my top misses of 2021, and I'm really disappointed and really surprised by this, because I was going in maybe not with high expectations, but with a lot of hope. The new Matrix movie, The Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah.
That did not land with me at all. There were good action scenes. The story. The very original, I'm not going to give away spoilers for this movie because it just came out, but the very beginning, the premise that they presented to the audience, I thought was a very good premise, but the way it was executed and the way that it kind of felt like it was making fun of itself too much, to a point where because they were joking a lot about reboots and a lot about of how to get
meta.
new audience. It was too meta, and I thought what they were going to do was make a powerful statement on the idea of the industry rebooting franchises just to make money.
Everything.
But it kept going, and I'm like, you're not making your case, or you're not proving us wrong,
making a point
that this isn't just there's no point, and there wasn't really a message saying we're not doing it this isn't just a money grab, we're doing it for this fantastic story or this fantastic image or plan that we have. It felt very money grabbish, and very disappointed in some of the action, especially involving Keanu Reeves. I don't know if it was a scheduling issue or whatnot, that he can't devote so much time to choreograph amazing fighting scenes with him, but I didn't see that. I saw that in some of the new characters that they introduced, and you could kind of tell they're trying to prop up. But with Keanu Reeves' character, there's so much more I was expecting based on what we've already seen that he can do, and I just didn't see that. So that's definitely one big miss for me this year.
You know what? I didn't even like the premise of it. I think a lot of people are joking online that it's kind of like The Rise of Skywalker. It's like, somehow the Matrix is back. Yeah. Somehow they're back in the Matrix. And it just felt to me like, this is also on my list of top misses. It just felt like, 40% of the movie was actually watching clips of the original trilogy. It's like, I'm not here to watch those movies. Show me this movie. What is this movie about? But you know what? I loved seeing Keanu. I loved seeing the other stars.
I thought he was great.
They had...
He and the actress who plays Trinity, I thought they have great chemistry. They are in they know their character. It's just what the script had their characters do, or what the script had them be, or how they behave. That's what I had a problem with. But when you saw Neo and Trinity talking one-on-one and and embracing each other and connecting with each other, that was all there. That's all Matrix 1, 2, and 3. But everything else about the story and what you're trying to see, they are rebooting this, or they are trying to relaunch this franchise with the new, hotter, younger characters. But for me, I just didn't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they are going to make a second one, because apparently this movie did not do great in the box office. It's not getting that great reviews. So are they going to continue to try to redo this? My fiance was joking that my fiance was joking that instead of calling it The Matrix Resurrections, they literally should have called it The Matrix Rebooted, and that would actually play because rebooted, because you are doing a reboot, and one, and then two. That's what you do with computers. You reboot computers, so it could have you could add even more meta joking in there because there was so much already in there.
It was a little too much of that, but you know what? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to go to my next movie that missed the mark.
I just wanted to make a quick point that Patrick, what's his name?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Patrick. Neil Patrick Harris, that we know. I know those three names.
Yeah.
I really liked him in this.
I liked
like
him.
I said, so I liked the chemistry between the characters. I thought they had some interesting ideas that they tried to explore, but the story was just bonkers and not satisfying. But
no,
that's all. So what's the rest of your list? That was my whole list. Was just those two.
My final one, Antlers. Antlers is a horror movie that came out this past year, and I'm blanking at the name of the actors. But I did do a review on this, so if you want to catch that whole review of Antlers and why you shouldn't watch it, check it out. So those are my those are our favorites. Yeah, our favorites, our not so favorites, and our honorable mentions.
And you know what people should watch? Is us.
Is us.
You guys should watch The Hub on Hollywood, okay?
Happy New Year.
We need you to subscribe.
Start a new year with us.
Happy New Year. Yes. We're starting a brand new year, and what better way to start the new year than to start it with us? Join us for our weekly takes, our reviews, our hot takes on everything in entertainment and what's happening locally with casting calls and movies that are being made in New England. That's why we're called The Hub on Hollywood, because Hollywood is coming to us, and we want to bring you into the fold. So we're on YouTube. Subscribe, sign up for the notifications so that you know when we have a new episode. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Sign up, like us, share us, love us, gotta have us, and we will bring you into the fold, bring you into the conversation, and let us know what you think. What were your top movies of 2021s? What were your stinkers? Yeah. And we'll give you a shout out next episode.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to next year? Actually, one movie that popped in my head is the new Batman movie. So the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, that should be really good.
Oh, yeah.
So fingers crossed on that one. We also got a trailer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So that's one of those movies next year.
Yeah, a lot of good
really
stuff coming.
to. Let us know. Comment down below.
Awesome.
But let us tell you about this new film that just came out on Netflix, and also it's been out in theaters. But Don't Look Up. We interviewed an actress who was in it in our last episode,
with her son.
Jury Love, with her son. And so they appear in this movie, but Don't Look Up, written and directed by Adam McKay, who has written and directed and worked on other films, including The Other Guys, Vice, The Big Short, Anchorman. An excellent resume that he has. But this movie follows two low-level astronomers played by Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, who must go on this giant media tour, this media campaign to warn mankind of this approaching comet that will hit Earth and destroy all life as we know it. I thought this was a really good movie. This is starring Meryl Streep, as we mentioned before, a great cast. Jonah Hill plays her son. Meryl Streep plays the president. Jonah Hill, one of the funniest aspects of this film, I definitely think. But we also have Cate Blanchett, Tyler Perry, who play the two talk show hosts who really minimize and downplay the impending doom. Timothée Chalamet plays a love interest to Jennifer Lawrence. Ron Perlman plays an astronaut. But overall, Jamie, what did you think about this film?
Oh, Ron Perlman. That's right. That was Ron Perlman. Yeah. Look, I think the social commentary and the satire is so on point. It's not very much outside of our current reality.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much the only criticism I have of it, is that it's a little too real. It's a little too close to home. It's a little too soon. But it's just, it was amazing. I loved it. Meryl Streep plays a Trump-like character that at first is ignoring the warnings. She's the president, who at first ignores the warnings of Earth's imminent demise. We have 6 months, people. We're all going to die because it's not going to help her in the midterms. And then she gets embroiled in a sexting scandal with her woefully underqualified Supreme Court nominee. And then she changes her tune. She's like, hey, this will help me get reelected if we coordinate this global, effort to stop the comet and save the world. And, it's just funny because it is like navigating the social insanity of our current world. And, the decisions that get made for purely political reasons versus what? We're all gonna die, you know?
Yeah.
And that happens several times where Jennifer Lawrence just loses it. Like, she loses it on air. She loses it with the president. You know, she's sort of the voice of reason. And then Leonardo DiCaprio's character becomes like the Fauci type character who's like, okay, I'm now the face of this. I'm trying to help you guys through it. And then he gets swept away in it. So it's just, I think initially this movie was supposed to be a commentary on global warming and climate change and all of that. But it fits COVID so well. Yeah. And I would have said that, okay, like, if this movie had been made a decade ago, that this would be like 100 times exaggerated from reality. But after the last administration, I'd say it's about 10 times a little more hyperbolic, exaggerated than real life. But the social commentary here is just really on point. What did you think, James?
Yeah, you can definitely see the comparisons between this version of the president, Meryl Streep, and the previous president, President Trump. And people are comparing it to what we're seeing with how we're handling the pandemic. I do believe that you are in your point saying that it may hit very close to home, because again, we are still in the pandemic. We're experiencing something very, very similar to this, and people have compared this movie to Idiocracy, and how they're making fun of the exact same things that are being made fun of in Don't Look Up, but it's cranked up to an extreme comical level where you can still laugh and joke about it. This one, again, is still very fresh for a lot of people. But like I said, it did make my honorable mentions, not my top 5, but I do think it's a very good movie. I thought the editing was great. Adam McKay, you kind of feel the same Adam McKay vibe from his other films. That great cast, great performances all around. Like I said, Jonah Hill probably has the funniest lines in the movie. And so that I really liked. Yeah. The other points of criticism or critique that I would say is that this probably could have been shorter. The movie runtime is around 2 hours, 30 minutes long. I think you could have cut maybe 15 minutes from it, or maybe a little bit more. The Timothée Chalamet character, I've heard mixed opinions too of how he may have been the best part of the movie for some people. I thought they probably could have minimalized that role a little bit. Also, some of the CGI in the final act could take you out of the movie. It didn't bother me too much, but I have heard that for some people it was a little too much. But overall, I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a very funny movie at time. Dark humor is definitely prevalent in this movie.
Very dark.
So, but I recommend it. I will say this lastly: if you're debating whether to watch Don't Look Up or The Matrix Resurrections, watch Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. Watch Don't Look Up.
Watch
exactly.
that movie first, at least.
I wanted to give an honorable mention to Ariana Grande, who's in Don't Look Up. She was amazing. She is so funny. She is so funny. And I thought it was incredible, too, how they compared the way that people listen to scientists, which is not at all, and the way that people listen to celebrities, which is, they didn't really get anything done until the celebrities were on board, until the media was on board and all of that. So, Don't Look Up. Highly recommend. Go see it.
All right. Well, let us know what you think. Have you seen The Matrix Resurrections? Have you seen Don't Look Up? Have you seen any of the movies on our top list of hits and misses? Comment down below. Let us know what you think, and what are you looking forward to most in 2022? Because we have a good list that we're probably going to make an episode about of what we're looking forward to in the upcoming year, or this year now that we're in 2022. So hopefully here's to a better year of living, year of movies, and a better year of just being nicer to each other. How about that?
Yes, absolutely. And you should definitely check out our interview with Don't Look Up actress Jury Love, who was in the movie with her son Jaden. We'll link that down below. But yes, James, seconding everything you just said, it is going to be the best year ever. It is. So let's keep going with that, and because you're going to be with us, obviously this year, it's going to be amazing. So keeping that vibe going, and with that thought, James, we will see you next week. I'm Jamie.
I'm James. Bye.